For anyone who knows a thing or two about street racing, the underground street racing in Oklahoma has been a major attraction for years. They pride themselves on engaging in the high-octane sport, birthing some of the fastest racers in the world. It was on these streets that Street Outlaws was born, and along with it, Daddy Dave, who has grown to become one of the most prolific racers on the show. However, enjoying the thrills of the show comes with some level of danger, some of which could be life-threatening. In 2016, Daddy Dave came face-to-face with the dangerous side of life on the tracks, following a fatal crash. So what exactly happened on that day? What was the fate of Daddy Dave and where is he now? The star that we all have come to know as Daddy Dave was born David Comstock and has been widely known for his thrill for speed, propelling him into a well-known figure in the tracks of the television show Street Outlaws. At an early age, he got taken by the passion that is widely shared by most youngsters in Oklahoma City and started honing his skills in street racing. Eventually, his years of hard work paid off and has been the road to his success. David was born on April 4, 1973, in Shawnee, Oklahoma, where racing was highly regarded and was a thing of pride for the locals, despite being very much illegal at the time. He grew up in a middle-class household, and everyone in the family enjoyed watching the races, which immediately captured the attention of young Dave. As a teenager, he started off driving his father's car, and soon started enrolling in some of the local races, where he honed his skills. As much as Dave was captivated by the thrills of racing, he was also captivated by the mechanics, trying to find out what goes on under the hood to provide the outward performance. At that early stage, his father was his first mentor, helping guide him through some of the difficult stages in his learning process. In no time, Dave learned all there was to learn about cars, and this even inspired him to open his own garage later in his career. Over the years, underground street racing has grown from just any activity to more of a cultural thing. They find pride in the sport and have been keen on hosting activities that introduce their youngsters to the sport, despite the safety issues that have made the law not look kindly on the sport. As a teenager, Dave keyed into this culture, maybe in an attempt to just move along with the trend, but this will later grow to be something much larger than anyone initially imagined. He helped modify his father's Chevy, which helped him make his statement as an upcoming talent in the streets. As he moved along, his love for the sport deepened, and he put his all into seeing that he became the best in the game. Though Dave was much more invested in street racing, he still made time to give little attention to his education, attending local schools in Shawnee. He succeeded in finishing high school, and then took to the street to focus on racing. This helped him learn the value of discipline and due diligence, which are both characteristics that she held in high regard in the tracks of Street Outlaws. Instead of furthering his education, Dave devoted his time to learning the intricacies of automotive technology, which would provide him a means of earning a living. This was what solidified the ground for him to start his own garage, where he built and modified cars for races. He spent a lot of hours in different garages, where he learned the workings under the hood and soon got all the skills that he needed to make amazing builds. By the time Dave hit his early 20s, he was widely known in the tracks for the way he handled his affairs behind the wheels, earning him some street credibility. He built an undisputable reputation as a fierce competitor and was willing to take on anyone on the tracks. This earned him some level of respect among his peers and soon started to pull the attention of some notable figures. By 2013, a major change was to hit the underground street racing in Oklahoma, which provided an opportunity for some of their brightest racers to shine, and among them, Dave, who has now established his place in the racing community. It was that year that Street Outlaws premiered, after the preparatory activities the previous year. The Discovery Channel came with the proposition of a reality show, which though initially met with skepticism, later became a huge success. Earning a slot on the show, Dave made his debut on the show with his car, which was fondly dubbed Goliath, and was a heavily modified 1963 Chevy Nova. He put his skills as an experienced mechanic in this vehicle and was poised to take on some of the biggest challenges that he would face on the tracks. Dave got a lot more recognition for his role in the show, as he put his driving skills on full display for everyone to see. Before long, it became clear that some of the earlier influences that Dave got while growing up helped him a lot in his pursuit. First on this would be his father, who prepared the ground for him to nurture his passion and also provided him with his first racing car. This was where he got his deep love for cars and respect for the sport. However, outside the family, there have been some other external influences that played a major role in his success. Dave had looked up to Big Chief, who was another promising racer in the area at the time, and that helped Dave through several challenges. He was also the one who approached Dave and convinced him to take a spot in the Street Outlaws. Over the years, the two have developed a very mutual relationship, which has been built on respect for each other. We cannot also forget the influence that the streets had on Dave while he was growing up. It was just difficult for him to overlook the thrills of the game when he saw that most of his friends were already headed in that direction. While at it, they built a support structure for each other, which had been the major launch pad for Dave. Dave owes his young self some credit also for his dedication and persistence in the challenging path that he chose. He was determined to make something of the support that he got in those early stages and didn't give himself reasons to look back, no matter what he was facing. Today, his hard work has paid off, earning him a place as a celebrated racer. Despite the challenges that he has had to face over the years, some of which were life-threatening, Dave has maintained his dedication to the game. His story has become a source of inspiration for younger racers, who are poised to achieve amazing things. Along with his dedication to his career, Dave has also taken time to give some attention to his personal life, taking some time off to build a family. He is currently married to Cassie Comstock, who became drawn by Dave's overall appeal. They have been able to develop mutual respect and support for each other over the years. Their relationship started way before Dave became a known figure through Street Outlaws. They have been together since all the current achievements were just dreams and have managed to build something that has been admired by everyone. Cassie has been a major support for Dave, especially during the time that he faced his most trying time on the show in 2016. Though not as active as Dave in racing, she has been heavily invested in Dave's career, helping him manage some of the logistics that are required for him to have successful runs. She also appears to support her husband during his races and has been a source of major morale boost for him. Also, she keeps things together at home, helping Dave focus more on his career. Together, Dave and Cassie have 2 daughters, who have been the center of their world. Growing up, both have been shielded from the media due to the attention their father's career has been drawing to his private life. This way, they are allowed the opportunity to have a normal lifestyle like everyone else. Despite Dave's tasking career, he had made it a priority to always be there for his children. Over the years, the family has expanded with his daughters getting married and giving Dave and Cassie grandchildren. This added a new dimension to the family, allowing Cassie and Dave to extend their loving duties to their grandchildren. Dave and Cassie have cherished every moment and have certainly counted their blessings with these ones. The family has often been seen at different races, where they come together to support Dave in his races. Seeing them on the sidelines has helped Dave keep his eyes on the prize, providing him with the boost that he needs to keep things going. For Dave, having his family present at his races is a way to share his passion with them and to create lasting memories. It also serves as a reminder of the love and support that fuels his success. Before we talk about the unfortunate incident that Dave faced on Street Outlaws, let's understand what the show is all about. To begin with, Street Outlaws has been a major push for the underground street racing in Oklahoma City, helping push an otherwise illegal event to the mainstream and gathering the support of millions of viewers who have contributed to the show's overall appeal. The first major challenge in the making of Street Outlaws was overcoming the legal hurdles that were on the way. The regulatory bodies weren't so keen on letting street racing become mainstream, as the activities were deemed unsafe. The racers that were initially recruited thought that the FBI was out to fish the racers out, and so were a bit skeptical in joining the show. In the long run, Pilgrim Studios, which is the production company behind the show, was able to convince the likes of Justin Shearer, aka Big Chief, Sean Ellington, aka Murder Nova, and even Daddy Dave, that they have everything under control and that the show isn't a setup for them. The fears that these people had initially was beyond the desire for self-preservation to include the preservation of a long thriving culture and relationship within their community. Among all the people who were involved in the initial negotiations, Big Chief was among the very few who saw the potential in the proposition. He envisioned a way for them to promote their racing culture while pulling attention that would aid in the development of their community. He joined the producers in making some others see the end goal, and also held the position as a mentor to some like Dave. With Big Chief in the game, some others like Sean Ellington were willing to throw their cap in the game. He brought along his black 1969 Chevrolet Nova, which thrilled the audience, who were eager to see the promise of this new show. Also, Chuck Seitzinger and Jeff Lutz came to form integral parts of the show. They helped grow the show along with the rest of the 405 members that the show started with. This was definitely history in the making, and it has been an upward move ever since. With the premiere of the show in 2013, it wasn't long before the crew started to reap the dividends that came with the investment of their skills in the show. The fan base for the show grew with the speed of light, as many were taken by the adrenaline-filled events that they were seeing. The affinity for the show went beyond just the personality of the racers to include their cars. People were just excited to see the mind-blowing modifications that made everything worth it. The performance of the show came as a big surprise to most of the members of the cast, most of whom initially thought that the show would be short-lived, owing to the challenges that they faced in the starting stage. Beyond the legal battles, racing is quite expensive and requires reasonable financial investment to cater to logistics. However, the growing popularity saw to the provision of all that was needed, and everything ran smoothly. More than a decade later, the show continued, being a testament to the captivating content. The genuine commitment of the racers to the show and the authenticity of their activities added to the positive reception of the show. The stakes were always high, and the viewers could feel this. This made Street Outlaws grow to become one of the biggest racing shows on reality TV. As the show evolved, new ideas were brought in to make it even more challenging and exciting. There were additions made to the strategies, bringing in new rules and challenges. One of the outcomes of this evolution was the no-prep races. Just like the title, the tracks weren't treated with traction compounds before races. The result is that these races have more unpredictable outcomes, adding to the thrills of the sport. The extra layer of excitement provided by the no-prep races helped in the further growth of the show, as people got more insights into the challenges of being behind the wheel. Racers were forced to make even more crazy modifications to their cars, adding to the overall excitement. The producers also took things up a notch when they introduced cash days, which raised the stake of the events. The racers were made to compete for significantly larger cash prizes, which made them go to extra lengths to see that they came out at the top, all adding to the thrill of the game. With a successful run, the show soon started seeing other spin-off series, which contributed largely to the show spreading to other locations. This was the time that we started seeing shows like Street Outlaws New Orleans, which gave the same opportunity for racers in New Orleans, Louisiana, to take up the challenge and create their own magic. The show also extended to Memphis with Street Outlaws. Memphis, where we see the likes of JJ Da Boss and his crew take to the tracks to keep the audience entertained. This opened up opportunities in different cities for skilled racers to make themselves known, providing a reasonable means of livelihood for them while keeping the audience entertained. Later on, they developed the no-prep racing concept into a whole spin-off of its own, starting the Street Outlaws, No Prep Kings. Here, the concept was developed into a larger concept, featuring racers from all across the country as they compete for the ultimate title. The franchise continued to grow, and so did the racers. As the show progressed, the initial skepticism wore off, and things were running smoother than the racers ever imagined. However, the racers were required to abide by some safety standards that would protect them in the event of any mishap. This saw the introduction of row cages and other safety measures. This might have been exactly the reason Dave is still alive today. In 2016, Daddy Dave faced a life-threatening accident that shocked fans and fellow racers alike. The incident occurred during a no-prep race in Amarillo, Texas, while Dave was driving his famous car, Goliath, which is a heavily modified Chevrolet Nova that had become his signature vehicle. The night just started like every other race that they have had, but the situation would soon change with the unfortunate accident that shook everyone. It was a no-prep race, and the stakes were high. As the race began, everything seemed normal as Goliath lunched off for the win. However, midway into the event, Dave lost control of the vehicle, which resulted in a violent swerve and ended with Dave slamming the vehicle onto the wall. The vehicle flipped multiple times, and one of the tanks reportedly hit Dave on the head, but his gears shielded him reasonably. Everyone who watched got a huge shock from the outcome and had expected the worst from what they had just witnessed. Goliath, now damaged beyond recognition, had come to the end of its active years. Dave was rushed to the hospital where he was treated for his injuries. When the tension subsided, it was gathered that Dave didn't remember how the whole thing happened as he was knocked unconscious. However, he made a full recovery eventually. The initial thoughts of being kept away from the track because of injuries troubled Dave, but there was little that he could do. With his wife by his side, he made a full recovery and got set to get a new car for himself, leading to the birth of Goliath 2.0. As Dave worked to get his new car ready, it was obvious that this wasn't just another car. It became a symbol of Dave's resilience and determination to move on, despite the tragic event that he was just in. He added more safety features to Goliath 2.0, even making it better than the last one. Despite being a defining moment of his career, Dave never allowed the accident to pull him down. Instead, he rode on the support that he got from family, friends, and even fans to get back on his feet and continue with his races. Let us know what you make of Daddy Dave's commitment in the comments, and be sure to join us on future episodes for more insightful content.